Introduction to misleading information. Misleading information is a significant issue in today's media landscape, impacting how individuals perceive and interact with news and information. As technology advances and digital platforms proliferate, the spread of misleading content has become more pervasive and sophisticated. This section provides an introduction to misleading information, explaining its various forms, the reasons behind its proliferation, and its potential consequences. Understanding these elements is crucial for developing effective strategies to recognize and combat misleading information. 1. Definition of misleading information. Misleading information refers to content that is designed to deceive or misinform its audience. It encompasses various forms of incorrect or distorted information, often presented in a way that obscures the truth or manipulates perception. Misleading information can be intentional or unintentional, and it includes fake news, fabricated stories that mimic legitimate news formats but are created to deceive readers for political, financial, or social gain. Clickbait, sensationalized headlines or content designed to attract clicks and engagement, often at the expense of accuracy and context. Misinformation, false or misleading information spread without malicious intent, typically due to a lack of knowledge or understanding. Disinformation, deliberately false information spread with the intent to deceive or manipulate public opinion. 2. Importance of identifying misleading information. Identifying misleading information is crucial for several reasons. Informed decision-making. Accurate information is essential for making informed decisions on various issues, including health, politics, and social matters. Misleading information can lead to poor decisions and actions based on false premises. Protecting democracy. In democratic societies, accurate information is vital for informed voting and public debate. Misleading information can undermine democratic processes and erode trust in institutions. Promoting public well-being. Misinformation, especially regarding health and safety, can have serious consequences for public well-being. For instance, false information about medical treatments or safety protocols can lead to harmful behaviors and public health crises. 3. Overview of the course and objectives. This course aims to equip participants with the skills to recognize and combat misleading information effectively. The objectives include understanding different types of misleading information, identifying and distinguishing between fake news, clickbait, misinformation, and disinformation, applying techniques for verification, learning methods to verify information, including checking sources, using fact-checking websites, and understanding logical fallacies and propaganda techniques. Developing critical thinking skills, enhancing the ability to analyze and evaluate information critically to make informed decisions and engage responsibly with media content. 4. The role of technology in the spread of misleading information. Technology plays a significant role in the spread of misleading information. Social media, platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram can amplify misleading information rapidly due to their wide reach and algorithm-driven content promotion. Social media's structure allows for the quick spread of both intentional disinformation and unintentional misinformation. Search engines. Search engines can sometimes prioritize sensational or misleading content based on engagement metrics, influencing what information users encounter first. Bots and algorithms. Automated bots and algorithms can generate and distribute misleading content on a large scale, making it harder for users to discern credible information. 5. The psychological impact of misleading information. Misleading information can have significant psychological effects. Confirmation bias. People are more likely to accept information that aligns with their pre-existing beliefs and ignore information that contradicts them. Misleading information can exploit this bias to reinforce false beliefs. Emotional manipulation. Misleading content often uses emotional appeals to influence readers, creating strong reactions that can overshadow rational analysis and fact-checking. 6. The legal and ethical implications. Misleading information also raises legal and ethical concerns. Legal consequences. In some cases, spreading false information can lead to legal action, especially if it causes harm or violates regulations. Ethical responsibility. Media producers, including journalists and content creators, have an ethical responsibility to provide accurate and truthful information. Misleading information undermines the credibility and integrity of media institutions. Conclusion. The introduction to misleading information sets the stage for a deeper exploration of its various forms and the techniques used to combat it. Understanding the nature of misleading information, its impact, and the role of technology in its spread is essential for developing effective strategies to recognize and address it. As we progress through the course, we will build on this foundation to equip participants with practical skills for analyzing and verifying information critically. Understanding fake news. 1. Definition and characteristics of fake news. Fake news refers to false or misleading information presented as legitimate news. It is crafted to appear as if it is from a credible source, often using a format similar to traditional journalism. Fake news can take various forms, including fabricated stories, manipulated images, and misleading headlines. Its primary goal is to deceive readers, manipulate opinions, or generate revenue through clicks and shares. Characteristics of fake news include sensationalism. Fake news often uses sensational or provocative headlines to attract attention and generate emotional responses. These headlines may exaggerate or distort the facts to create a more dramatic story. Lack of credibility. Fake news sources usually lack credible references or verifiable facts. They may use anonymous sources or provide vague attributions that cannot be independently verified. Manipulative content. Fake news often relies on emotional appeals or manipulative language to sway readers. This may include fear-mongering, outrage, or appeals to personal beliefs and biases. Deceptive presentation. Fake news may use visual elements, such as fabricated images or misleading videos, to create a false impression of authenticity. These elements are designed to make the content appear legitimate and trustworthy. 2. Historical examples of fake news. Fake news has existed for centuries, but its impact has been amplified in the digital age. Some notable historical examples include The War of the Worlds broadcast, 1938. Orson Welles' radio adaptation of H.G. Wells' novel caused panic among listeners who believed the fictional alien invasion was real. While not deliberately malicious, this incident highlighted the potential for media to influence public perception. The Pizzagate conspiracy. 2016, a false conspiracy theory alleging that a Washington, D.C. pizzeria was involved in a child sex trafficking ring was spread through social media. The misinformation led to real-world consequences, including harassment and a violent incident at the restaurant. 3. How fake news is created and distributed. Fake news creation and distribution involves several strategies. Fabrication of content. Fake news creators often invent stories or manipulate existing information to fit their narrative. They may use misleading headlines, fabricated quotes, or altered images to enhance the story's impact. Exploitation of social media. Social media platforms are ideal for spreading fake news due to their wide reach and the viral nature of content. Fake news stories are often shared and reshared, amplifying their reach and impact. Monetization. Many fake news creators generate revenue through clickbait. By attracting large numbers of clicks, they earn money from advertising and affiliate marketing. This financial incentive drives the creation of sensational and misleading content. 4. The impact of fake news. Fake news has several significant impacts. Erosion of trust. Repeated exposure to fake news can erode public trust in legitimate news sources and institutions. When people are unable to distinguish between credible and false information, it undermines the reliability of all news. Polarization. Fake news often reinforces existing biases and divides public opinion. By presenting information in a way that aligns with specific viewpoints, fake news can exacerbate political and social polarization. Misinformed public. Fake news can lead to widespread misinformation, affecting public understanding of important issues. This misinformation can influence decisions on matters such as health, politics, and safety. 5. Real-life case studies of significant fake news incidents. Examining specific cases of fake news can provide insights into how these stories spread and their effects. The Obama birth certificate controversy. This conspiracy theory falsely claimed that President Obama was not born in the United States. Despite being debunked, it gained traction among certain groups and influenced political discourse. COVID-19 misinformation. During the COVID-19 pandemic, numerous false claims about treatments, vaccines, and the virus's origins circulated widely. These claims not only misled the public, but also affected public health responses and vaccine uptake. 6. Combating fake news. Addressing the issue of fake news involves several strategies. Education and awareness. Increasing awareness about the existence and characteristics of fake news helps individuals recognize and avoid it. Media literacy education plays a critical role in developing this awareness. Verification tools. Utilizing fact-checking websites and verification tools can help validate the authenticity of information. Resources like Snopes, factcheck.org, and PolitiFact provide valuable assistance in distinguishing fact from fiction. Critical thinking. Encouraging critical thinking and skepticism about information sources fosters a more discerning approach to media consumption. Questioning the credibility and intent behind information is essential for identifying fake news. Conclusion. Understanding fake news is crucial for navigating the modern media landscape. By recognizing its characteristics, historical examples, and impact, individuals can better equip themselves to identify and counteract misleading information. This foundational knowledge will serve as the basis for further exploration of techniques and strategies to combat fake news effectively. Recognizing clickbait. 1. Definition and purpose of clickbait. Clickbait refers to online content specifically designed to attract clicks and generate traffic by using sensational, misleading, or emotionally charged headlines. The primary purpose of clickbait is to drive user engagement, which often translates into increased revenue through advertising. Clickbait headlines are crafted to grab attention and provoke curiosity or emotional reactions, encouraging readers to click on the link to learn more. Characteristics of clickbait. Sensationalism. Clickbait headlines frequently use exaggerated or sensational language to create a sense of urgency or intrigue. These headlines may include phrases like, "You won't believe what happens next," or "shocking truth revealed." Lack of substance. Often, the content behind a clickbait headline does not deliver on the promise made by the headline. It may be vague, superficial, or irrelevant to the headline's sensational claims. Emotional manipulation. Clickbait often leverages strong emotions such as fear, anger, or excitement. By eliciting a strong emotional response, clickbait aims to bypass critical thinking and prompt immediate clicks. Intriguing but vague. Clickbait headlines tend to be intriguing yet vague, providing just enough information to pique curiosity, but withholding details to compel users to click for more information. 2. Impact of clickbait on readers and information dissemination. Clickbait has several significant impacts on both readers and the broader media landscape. Erosion of trust. Repeated exposure to clickbait can erode trust in online media. When readers encounter headlines that promise more than they deliver, they may become skeptical of other content from the same sources. Distorted perceptions. Clickbait can distort readers' perceptions by presenting information in a misleading or exaggerated manner. This can lead to misconceptions and a skewed understanding of events or issues. Reduced information quality. The emphasis on sensationalism often leads to a decrease in the quality of information presented. Clickbait can overshadow important news with trivial or exaggerated content, impacting the overall quality of information available to the public. Increased engagement with low-quality content. Clickbait drives high engagement metrics, such as clicks and shares, for low-quality content. This can contribute to a cycle where sensationalism is rewarded over substantive reporting. 3. Techniques to identify clickbait. To effectively identify and avoid clickbait, consider the following techniques. Analyze the headline. Evaluate whether the headline uses sensational language or appeals to strong emotions. If it seems designed to provoke a reaction rather than inform, it may be clickbait. Check the source. Investigate the credibility of the website or source. Reputable sources are less likely to rely on clickbait tactics. Check for a history of reliable reporting and transparency. Look for details. Assess whether the headline accurately reflects the content of the article. If the headline promises specific information or dramatic revelations, but the content is vague or unrelated, it is likely clickbait. Verify information. Cross-check the information presented in the article with other reliable sources. If the content cannot be corroborated or seems to lack depth, it may be an indication of clickbait. Be skeptical of overly dramatic claims. Be cautious of headlines that make grandiose claims or promise to reveal hidden truths. These are often designed to exploit curiosity rather than provide genuine information. 4. Real-life examples of clickbait. Examining real-life examples can help illustrate how clickbait operates. Example 1. You won't believe what this celebrity did. A headline like this often leads to an article with little substantive content, aiming only to attract clicks through sensationalism. Example 2. This simple trick will save you thousands. Such headlines may promise significant benefits or savings, but deliver generic or misleading advice. They often exaggerate the impact of the content to drive engagement. 5. Combating clickbait. Combating clickbait involves several proactive strategies. Educate yourself and others. Raise awareness about clickbait and its tactics. Understanding how clickbait works can help individuals recognize and avoid it. Use ad blockers and extensions. Employ tools and browser extensions designed to filter out clickbait and enhance the quality of online content. Encourage critical thinking. Foster critical thinking skills in evaluating online content. Encourage questioning and verifying information before engaging with it. Support quality journalism. Support and seek out reputable news sources that prioritize quality journalism over sensationalism. Promoting and consuming high-quality content helps counteract the effects of clickbait. Conclusion. Recognizing clickbait is essential for navigating the modern media landscape effectively. By understanding its characteristics, impacts, and techniques for identification, individuals can make more informed choices about the content they engage with. Developing the ability to spot and avoid clickbait enhances overall media literacy and contributes to a more informed and discerning public. Misinformation versus disinformation. 1. Definitions and distinctions. Understanding the difference between misinformation and disinformation is crucial for navigating the modern media landscape. Both terms refer to false or misleading information, but they differ in their intent and purpose. Misinformation. This term describes incorrect or misleading information spread without malicious intent. Misinformation often arises from misunderstandings, errors, or incomplete knowledge. For example, someone might share a false fact about a health remedy because they genuinely believe it to be true, even though it lacks scientific backing. Disinformation. In contrast, disinformation is deliberately false information spread with the intent to deceive or manipulate. This term implies a purposeful effort to mislead others, often for political, economic, or ideological gain. For instance, a political campaign might disseminate false claims about an opponent to sway public opinion or damage their reputation. 2. Examples and implications. Misinformation example. During a natural disaster, rumors about specific safety measures or relief efforts may circulate. If these rumors are based on incomplete or incorrect information but shared with good intentions, they represent misinformation. While the intent is not malicious, the spread of such misinformation can lead to confusion or harm if individuals rely on it for making safety decisions. Disinformation example. In an election, disinformation campaigns might spread false information about voting procedures, such as fake claims about voter fraud or misleading instructions on how to vote. This deliberate attempt to manipulate voters can undermine democratic processes and erode trust in the electoral system. 3. The role of intent in determining misinformation versus disinformation. The intent behind spreading information plays a critical role in distinguishing between misinformation and disinformation. Intentionality. Disinformation involves a deliberate effort to deceive or manipulate. The creators of disinformation campaigns typically have specific goals, such as influencing public opinion, discrediting individuals or organizations, or advancing particular agendas. Unintentionality. Misinformation, on the other hand, is often spread without malicious intent. Individuals who share misinformation may do so out of ignorance or genuine belief in the information, rather than a desire to deceive others. 4. Consequences of misinformation and disinformation. Both misinformation and disinformation can have significant consequences. Misinformation, while often less damaging than disinformation, misinformation can still lead to confusion and misinformed decisions. In contexts such as health or safety, misinformation can result in individuals following ineffective or harmful practices based on inaccurate information. Disinformation. Disinformation can have more severe consequences due to its intentional nature. It can erode trust in institutions, polarize public opinion, and undermine democratic processes. Disinformation campaigns can manipulate public perceptions and influence significant events, such as elections or social movements. 5. Strategies for addressing misinformation and disinformation. Combating both misinformation and disinformation requires different but complementary approaches. For misinformation, educate and inform. Provide accurate information and clarify misconceptions. Education about reliable sources and fact-checking methods helps reduce the spread of misinformation. Promote media literacy. Encourage critical thinking and media literacy skills to help individuals evaluate information sources and recognize misinformation. For disinformation, identify and expose. Use fact-checking and investigative journalism to identify and expose disinformation campaigns. Transparency about the sources and motives behind disinformation can help counteract its effects. Engage in public awareness. Raise awareness about disinformation tactics and their impact. Public campaigns and educational initiatives can help individuals recognize and resist attempts to manipulate their beliefs. 6. Tools and resources. Several tools and resources are available to help identify and address misinformation and disinformation. Fact-checking websites. Websites like Snopes, factcheck.org, and PolitiFact offer valuable resources for verifying the accuracy of information and identifying false claims. Media literacy programs. Educational programs and online resources focused on media literacy can provide skills and strategies for evaluating information critically. Digital literacy tools. Tools and browser extensions designed to detect and flag potentially misleading content can help users navigate online information more effectively. Conclusion. Differentiating between misinformation and disinformation is essential for understanding and addressing the spread of false information. By recognizing the intent behind misleading content and employing effective strategies to counteract it, individuals can contribute to a more informed and discerning public. As we continue to explore these topics, Developing skills for identifying and combating both misinformation and disinformation will be crucial for promoting accurate and trustworthy information in our media landscape. Case studies of fake news. Examining real-world examples of fake news can help illustrate its impact and how to recognize it. Two notable examples are the Pizzagate conspiracy and COVID-19 misinformation. These case studies highlight the dangers of fake news and the importance of critical media literacy. 1. The Pizzagate conspiracy. The Pizzagate conspiracy is one of the most infamous examples of fake news in recent years. In 2016, during the U.S. presidential election, a series of false claims emerged suggesting that a child sex trafficking ring was being operated out of Comet Ping Pong, a pizzeria in Washington, D.C. The conspiracy theory began on social media and quickly spread through various online platforms, including fringe websites and discussion forums. Key elements of the Pizzagate conspiracy. Fabrication of evidence. The conspiracy was based on a misinterpretation of emails from John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, which were released by WikiLeaks. Conspiracists claimed that coded language in the emails referred to a child trafficking ring, despite no evidence supporting these claims. Amplification via social media. Social media platforms played a significant role in amplifying the fake news. Posts and tweets about the conspiracy were shared widely, reaching a large audience and gaining traction among certain groups. Emotional manipulation. The conspiracy used emotional manipulation, invoking fear and outrage to engage readers. The idea of children being harmed elicited strong emotional responses, making the fake news more compelling and harder to dismiss. Consequences of the Pizzagate conspiracy. Harassment and threats. The pizzeria and its employees faced harassment and threats from individuals who believed the fake news. This harassment included threatening phone calls, social media attacks, and negative reviews online. Real-world violence. The most significant consequence occurred in December 2016 when a man entered Comet Ping Pong armed with a rifle, intending to investigate the claims himself. Although no one was injured, the incident highlighted the potential for fake news to incite real-world violence. Erosion of trust. The Pizzagate conspiracy eroded trust in legitimate news sources and institutions. It contributed to a broader distrust of mainstream media and fueled the belief that hidden, sinister activities were being covered up by those in power. 2. COVID-19 misinformation. The COVID-19 pandemic has been accompanied by a massive infodemic, with fake news and misinformation spreading rapidly. Various false claims about the virus's origins, prevention methods, and cures have circulated widely, exacerbating confusion and fear. Key examples of COVID-19 misinformation. False cures and treatments. Numerous fake news stories promoted unproven and sometimes dangerous treatments for COVID-19. For example, claims that drinking bleach or taking hydroxychloroquine could cure the virus led to harmful behaviors and even deaths. Conspiracy theories about origins. Several conspiracy theories falsely claimed that the virus was a bioweapon deliberately released by a government or that it was linked to 5G technology. These theories diverted attention from credible scientific explanations and hindered public understanding of the virus. Misleading prevention methods. Fake news also spread false information about prevention methods, such as claims that wearing masks was harmful or that certain foods could prevent infection. These misleading claims undermined public health measures and contributed to the spread of the virus. Consequences of COVID-19 misinformation. Public health risks. Fake news about COVID-19 has had serious public health implications. People who believed false claims about cures or prevention methods were more likely to engage in risky behaviors, increasing their chances of contracting and spreading the virus. Vaccine hesitancy. Misinformation about the safety and efficacy of COVID-19 vaccines has fueled vaccine hesitancy. False claims about side effects or the presence of microchips in vaccines have led some individuals to avoid vaccination, hindering efforts to achieve herd immunity. Erosion of trust in public health authorities. The spread of fake news has eroded trust in public health authorities and experts. When individuals are exposed to conflicting information, they may become skeptical of official guidance, making it more challenging to manage the pandemic effectively. Conclusion: the Pizzagate conspiracy and COVID-19 misinformation illustrate the profound impact that fake news can have on individuals and society. These examples highlight the importance of critical media literacy and the need for effective strategies to combat the spread of fake news. By understanding how fake news operates and recognizing its consequences, individuals can better navigate the media landscape and contribute to a more informed and resilient public. Techniques for identifying misleading information. In the age of digital media, distinguishing between accurate information and misleading content is crucial. Misleading information can appear in many forms, from fake news to clickbait and disinformation. Developing techniques to identify misleading information helps individuals make informed decisions and avoid the pitfalls of misinformation. Here are some essential techniques for spotting misleading information. 1. Checking sources and authors. The first step in identifying misleading information is to verify the credibility of the sources and authors. Evaluate the source. Consider the reputation of the publication or website. Reputable news organizations typically have editorial standards and fact-checking procedures in place. Be wary of sources that lack transparency or have a history of publishing false information. Research the author. Look up the author's credentials and previous work. Credible authors often have a track record of reliable reporting or expertise in the subject matter. Anonymous articles or those written by unknown authors should be approached with caution. Check for bias. Recognize potential biases of the source or author. While all sources have some level of bias, extreme bias can lead to misleading information. Sources with a clear political, ideological, or financial agenda may present information in a skewed manner. 2. Verifying facts with reputable fact-checking websites. Fact-checking is a critical component of identifying misleading information. Several reputable fact-checking organizations provide resources to verify the accuracy of claims. FactCheck.org. This nonpartisan, nonprofit organization monitors the factual accuracy of statements by political figures and other major entities. It provides detailed analyses and sources for its fact-checks. Snopes. Known for debunking urban legends, myths, and rumors, Snopes is a valuable resource for verifying a wide range of claims. It covers topics from politics to popular culture. PolitiFact. PolitiFact is a project of the Poynter Institute that fact-checks statements by elected officials and others who speak up in American politics. It uses a truthometer to rate the accuracy of claims. 3. Understanding logical fallacies and propaganda techniques. Misleading information often relies on logical fallacies and propaganda techniques to persuade and manipulate audiences. Ad hominem. This fallacy attacks the person making an argument rather than the argument itself. It aims to discredit the individual instead of addressing the substance of their claims. Straw man. The straw man fallacy involves misrepresenting or oversimplifying someone's argument to make it easier to attack. By creating a distorted version of the argument, the misleading information avoids engaging with the actual issue. Appeal to emotion. Emotional appeals aim to evoke strong feelings rather than present logical arguments. While emotions can be powerful, relying solely on emotional appeals can obscure the facts and lead to misleading conclusions. False dilemma. This fallacy presents only two options when more exist, forcing a choice between two extremes. It simplifies complex issues and can mislead by omitting other viable alternatives. 4. Cross-checking information with multiple sources. Another effective technique is to cross-check information with multiple credible sources. Diverse perspectives. Seek out information from various sources with different perspectives. This can help identify biases and provide a more balanced understanding of the topic. Consistent information. If multiple reputable sources report similar facts, the information is likely accurate. However, if there are significant discrepancies, it may indicate misleading information. Primary sources. Whenever possible, refer to primary sources such as official documents, statements, and original research. Primary sources provide direct evidence and are less likely to be distorted. 5. Assessing the quality and relevance of the information. Evaluating the quality and relevance of the information is crucial for identifying misleading content. Accuracy and precision. Accurate information is based on verifiable facts and evidence. Precise information provides specific details rather than vague or general statements. Context. Consider the context in which the information is presented. Information taken out of context can be misleading. Ensure that the information is relevant to the topic and not distorted by being placed in an inappropriate context. Timeliness. Check the date of the information. Outdated information can be misleading if it no longer reflects the current situation. Ensure that the information is up to date and relevant to the current context. Conclusion. By employing these techniques, individuals can develop a critical eye for identifying misleading information. Checking sources and authors, verifying facts, understanding logical fallacies, cross-checking information, and assessing quality and relevance are essential skills in navigating the modern media landscape. These techniques help ensure that the information consumed is accurate, reliable, and trustworthy, ultimately contributing to a more informed and discerning public. Checking sources and authors. One of the most critical steps in identifying misleading information is checking the credibility of sources and authors. Reliable sources and authors enhance the trustworthiness of information, while questionable ones can indicate potential misinformation. Here are some detailed strategies and considerations for effectively checking sources and authors. 1. Evaluating the source. The first step is to assess the credibility and reliability of the publication or website where the information appears. Reputation and history. Investigate the source's reputation and history. Established and reputable sources, such as major news organizations and academic journals, typically have rigorous editorial standards and fact-checking procedures. Sources with a history of accurate and balanced reporting are more likely to provide trustworthy information. Ownership and funding. Understand who owns and funds the source. Media outlets funded by transparent and ethical entities are more likely to adhere to journalistic standards. Conversely, those with opaque funding sources or conflicts of interest may have biased or misleading content. Editorial standards. Look into the editorial policies of the source. Reputable sources usually have clear editorial guidelines and correction policies. They also disclose their sources of information and methodologies, providing transparency in their reporting. 2. Researching the author. The credibility of the author is equally important as that of the publication. Here are some steps to evaluate the author's reliability. Credentials and expertise. Check the author's credentials and expertise in the subject matter. Authors with relevant academic qualifications, professional experience, or a track record of credible publications are more likely to provide accurate information. Previous work. Review the author's previous work to gauge consistency and reliability. Authors known for thorough research and balanced reporting are more trustworthy. Conversely, authors with a history of spreading misinformation or sensationalism should be approached with caution. Affiliations. Consider the author's affiliations and potential biases. Authors affiliated with reputable institutions or organizations are generally more reliable. However, affiliations with groups known for specific agendas or biases might influence the author's perspective and the accuracy of the information. 3. Identifying bias. Recognizing potential biases in sources and authors helps in assessing the reliability of the information presented. Political and ideological bias. Be aware of the political or ideological leanings of the source and author. While all sources have some level of bias, extreme biases can result in misleading information. Identifying the bias helps in critically evaluating the content and understanding the perspective from which it is presented. Commercial bias. Consider whether the source or author might have a commercial interest in the information. Sources driven by commercial interests might prioritize sensationalism or clickbait to drive traffic and revenue, potentially compromising the accuracy of the information. 4. Verifying sources cited. Checking the sources cited in an article or report adds another layer of verification. Primary sources. Ensure that the information is supported by primary sources, such as official documents, direct statements, or original research. Primary sources provide direct evidence and are less likely to be misinterpreted or distorted. Reliable secondary sources. If primary sources are not available, reputable secondary sources can also be valuable. These include well-known news outlets, academic publications, and respected experts in the field. Cross-referencing information with multiple credible sources helps verify its accuracy. Absence of sources. Be cautious of information presented without any sources or references. Unsupported claims are more likely to be inaccurate or misleading. 5. Evaluating the presentation. The way information is presented can also indicate its reliability. Balanced reporting. Reliable sources aim to present information in a balanced manner, considering multiple perspectives and providing context. One-sided or sensationalist reporting is often a red flag for potential bias or misinformation. Transparency. Trustworthy sources and authors are transparent about their methodologies and sources. They provide detailed explanations and disclose potential conflicts of interest, enhancing the credibility of their information. 6. Practical tools and resources. Several online tools and resources can aid in evaluating sources and authors. Media Bias/Fact Check. This website provides ratings for media sources based on their reliability and bias. It can help identify the credibility and potential bias of various news outlets. Google Scholar. For academic articles, Google Scholar can be used to find the author's other publications and citations, offering insight into their expertise and reputation. LinkedIn and professional websites. Checking the author's professional profiles on LinkedIn or their institutional websites can provide information about their credentials and affiliations. Conclusion. Checking sources and authors is a fundamental skill in identifying misleading information. By evaluating the credibility, reputation, and potential biases of sources and authors, individuals can make more informed judgments about the reliability of the information they encounter. This critical approach to media consumption enhances overall media literacy and contributes to a more informed and discerning public. Verifying facts with reputable fact-checking websites. In the quest to identify misleading information, verifying facts through reputable fact-checking websites is a crucial step. Fact-checking websites serve as an essential resource for confirming the accuracy of claims, debunking falsehoods, and providing context to complex issues. Here's an in-depth look at how to effectively use these platforms to ensure the reliability of the information you encounter. 1. Understanding the role of fact-checking websites. Fact-checking websites are dedicated to assessing the accuracy of public statements, media reports, and viral content. These platforms employ professional fact-checkers who meticulously research claims, cross-reference multiple sources, and provide detailed explanations of their findings. By leveraging these resources, individuals can make informed decisions and avoid the pitfalls of misinformation. 2. Key fact-checking websites. Several reputable fact-checking organizations have established themselves as reliable sources for verifying information. Here are some of the most prominent ones. FactCheck.org, a project of the Annenberg Public Policy Center. FactCheck.org Org monitors the factual accuracy of statements made by major U.S. political figures and organizations. It provides thorough analyses and clear explanations, helping readers understand the nuances of complex issues. Snopes, known for its comprehensive debunking of myths, rumors, and urban legends, Snopes covers a wide range of topics, from politics to popular culture. It provides well-researched articles that clarify the origins and veracity of various claims. PolitiFact, operated by the Poynter Institute, PolitiFact focuses on political statements and uses a truthometer to rate the accuracy of claims. Its straightforward ratings and detailed articles make it easy for readers to assess the reliability of political information. Reuters Fact Check, part of the global news organization Reuters, this fact-checking service evaluates the accuracy of viral content, social media posts, and public statements. Its international reach and rigorous standards make it a valuable resource for verifying information from around the world. AP Fact Check, the Associated Press, AP, runs a fact-checking initiative that scrutinizes claims made by politicians, public figures, and viral social media content. AP Fact Check provides clear and concise explanations, often accompanied by evidence and expert opinions. 3. Effective use of fact-checking websites. To maximize the benefits of fact-checking websites, follow these best practices. Cross-check multiple sources. Relying on a single fact-checking site can be limiting. Cross-checking claims across multiple reputable fact-checking websites ensures a more comprehensive understanding of the issue and reduces the risk of overlooking important details. Check the date of the fact-check. Misinformation can evolve over time. Verify the publication date of the fact-check to ensure the information is current and relevant. Outdated fact-checks may not reflect recent developments or new evidence. Read the full analysis. Fact-checking websites often provide detailed explanations and context for their ratings. Read the entire analysis to understand the reasoning behind the conclusion, the evidence considered, and any nuances or caveats. Consider the source's methodology. Familiarize yourself with the methodology of the fact-checking website. Understanding how they evaluate claims, select sources, and reach conclusions can enhance your confidence in their findings. 4. Recognizing high-quality fact-checking. Not all fact-checking efforts are created equal. High-quality fact-checking organizations adhere to rigorous standards and best practices. Transparency. Reputable fact-checking websites are transparent about their methods, sources, and funding. They provide detailed explanations of their research process and disclose any potential conflicts of interest. Independence. Independent fact-checkers are free from political, commercial, or ideological influences that could bias their work. Look for organizations affiliated with respected institutions or those that adhere to international fact-checking standards. Evidence-based analysis. High-quality fact-checking relies on verifiable evidence, including primary sources, expert opinions, and empirical data. Fact-checkers should clearly cite their sources and provide access to supporting materials when possible. 5. Common challenges in fact-checking. Despite the valuable role of fact-checking websites, challenges remain. Volume of misinformation. The sheer volume of misinformation circulating online can overwhelm fact-checkers. Not every claim can be addressed immediately, and some falsehoods may spread widely before being debunked. Subjectivity and interpretation. Some claims are open to interpretation or involve complex issues where reasonable experts may disagree. In such cases, fact-checking may involve a degree of subjectivity, and conclusions might reflect the nuances and uncertainties involved. Conclusion. Using reputable fact-checking websites is an essential strategy for verifying the accuracy of information. By understanding their role, recognizing high-quality fact-checking, and applying best practices, individuals can effectively combat misinformation and enhance their media literacy. Fact-checking websites empower users to navigate the media landscape with confidence, ensuring that they base their decisions and beliefs on accurate and reliable information. Understanding logical fallacies and propaganda techniques. Understanding logical fallacies and propaganda techniques is essential for identifying misleading information. Logical fallacies are errors in reasoning that undermine the logic of an argument, while propaganda techniques use emotional appeal, misinformation, or other tactics to manipulate public perception. Recognizing these can help individuals critically evaluate the information they encounter and avoid being swayed by faulty reasoning or manipulative tactics. 1. Common logical fallacies. Logical fallacies can take many forms, but here are some of the most common ones to be aware of. Ad hominem. This fallacy attacks the person making the argument rather than the argument itself. Instead of addressing the substance of the argument, it focuses on discrediting the individual, suggesting that their character or actions invalidate their point. Example: you can't trust John's opinion on climate change because he doesn't even recycle. Straw man. The straw man fallacy involves misrepresenting or oversimplifying someone's argument to make it easier to attack. By creating a distorted version of the argument, the misleading information avoids engaging with the actual issue. Example: people who support space exploration just want to waste money on rockets instead of solving problems on Earth. Appeal to emotion. Emotional appeals aim to evoke strong feelings rather than present logical arguments. While emotions can be powerful, relying solely on emotional appeals can obscure the facts and lead to misleading conclusions. Example: think of the children is often used to bypass rational discussion and evoke emotional responses. False dilemma. This fallacy presents only two options when more exist, forcing a choice between two extremes. It simplifies complex issues and can mislead by omitting other viable alternatives. Example: you're either with us or against us. Circular reasoning. Circular reasoning occurs when the argument's conclusion is used as a premise. Essentially, the argument goes in a circle without providing any actual evidence. Example: we must have a death penalty to deter violent crime because it prevents criminals from committing violent acts. 2. Propaganda techniques. Propaganda techniques are designed to influence public perception and opinion. Here are some common techniques used in propaganda. Bandwagon. This technique suggests that everyone is doing it, so you should too. It appeals to the human desire to be part of the majority. Example: join millions who have switched to our product. Glittering generalities. Using vague, sweeping statements that sound good but lack specific meaning. These statements often appeal to emotions and ideals. Example: freedom and democracy for all. Card stacking. This involves presenting only the information that supports one side of an argument, while ignoring or downplaying the opposing side. Example: an advertisement highlighting the benefits of a medication without mentioning its side effects. Name-calling. Using derogatory language or labels to create a negative association with a person or idea. Example: referring to an opponent as a socialist to discredit their economic policies without addressing their actual arguments. Testimonial. Using endorsements from celebrities or authority figures to support a product or idea, regardless of their actual expertise on the subject. Example: a famous actor promoting a specific diet plan. 3. Recognizing and addressing fallacies and propaganda. Identifying logical fallacies and propaganda techniques is the first step to addressing them. Here's how to approach this. Critical thinking. Always approach information critically. Question the validity of the arguments presented and look for evidence supporting the claims. Ask yourself whether the argument relies on sound reasoning or if it employs fallacies and manipulative tactics. Research and verify. Check the facts and seek out multiple perspectives. Reliable information can be corroborated by reputable sources. If a claim seems dubious, Look for credible fact-checking organizations that might have addressed it. Avoid emotional traps. While emotions are a natural part of human experience, be cautious of arguments that rely solely on emotional appeal. Look for factual and logical support behind emotionally charged statements. Educate yourself and others. Understanding these fallacies and techniques is a skill that improves with practice. Educate yourself on common logical fallacies and propaganda methods, and share this knowledge with others to help foster a more informed community. 4. Practical application. In everyday life, applying this knowledge can significantly improve your ability to discern reliable information from misleading content. Social media. Be especially critical of information shared on social media platforms, where misinformation can spread rapidly. Look out for logical fallacies and propaganda techniques in posts, comments, and memes. News consumption. Apply these critical thinking skills when reading or watching the news. Recognize that even reputable sources can sometimes use manipulative tactics, intentionally or unintentionally. Discussions and debates. Use your understanding of logical fallacies to engage in more productive discussions. Point out fallacies in arguments respectfully and encourage a focus on evidence-based reasoning. Conclusion. By understanding logical fallacies and propaganda techniques, individuals can better navigate the complex media landscape. This knowledge empowers people to critically evaluate the information they encounter, make informed decisions, and resist manipulation. Developing these skills is a crucial component of media literacy, fostering a more discerning and informed public. Cross-checking information with multiple sources. One of the most effective strategies for identifying misleading information is cross-checking information with multiple sources. This approach ensures a comprehensive understanding of a topic and reduces the likelihood of being misled by biased or inaccurate reporting. Cross-checking involves comparing information from various reputable sources to verify facts, identify inconsistencies, and gain a balanced perspective. Here's an in-depth look at the importance and methodology of cross-checking information. 1. The importance of cross-checking information. Cross-checking is crucial for several reasons. Accuracy. By verifying information across multiple sources, you can confirm the accuracy of the facts presented. Reliable information tends to be consistently reported by reputable sources. Bias detection. Every source has some level of bias, whether intentional or not. Cross-checking allows you to identify these biases and understand how they might influence the presentation of information. Comprehensive understanding. Different sources may provide varying perspectives or additional context, contributing to a more well-rounded understanding of the topic. Error identification. Cross-referencing can help identify errors or discrepancies in reporting. If one source presents information that significantly differs from others, it's worth investigating further. 2. Steps to effectively cross-check information. To effectively cross-check information, follow these steps. Select reputable sources. Start by choosing multiple reputable sources. These can include well-known news organizations, academic journals, official government publications, and respected nonprofit organizations. Compare key facts. Identify the key facts of the information you are verifying. Compare these facts across the selected sources to check for consistency. Pay attention to dates, statistics, direct quotes, and other specific details. Look for primary sources. Whenever possible, refer to primary sources such as original documents, official statements, and direct recordings. Primary sources provide direct evidence and are less likely to be distorted or misrepresented. Evaluate the context. Assess the context in which the information is presented. Different sources may highlight different aspects of the same story, providing a broader perspective. Consider how the context might influence the interpretation of the facts. Check expert opinions. Seek out expert opinions and analyses from credible professionals in the field. Experts can provide valuable insights and help clarify complex issues. 3. Practical tips for cross-checking information. Here are some practical tips to enhance your cross-checking efforts. Use fact-checking websites. Reputable fact-checking websites, such as factcheck.org, Snopes, and PolitiFact, are excellent resources for verifying information. These sites often provide detailed analyses and sources for their fact checks. Diversify your sources. Avoid relying on a single type of source. Incorporate a mix of news outlets, academic journals, government reports, and nonprofit organizations to get a balanced view. Be skeptical of outliers. If one source presents information that starkly contrasts with the consensus among other reputable sources, approach it with skepticism. Investigate why this discrepancy exists and whether the outlier source has a credible basis for its claims. Check publication dates. Ensure that the information is current and relevant by checking the publication dates of the sources. Outdated information may no longer be accurate or applicable. 4. Examples of effective cross-checking. Here are some examples to illustrate the importance of cross-checking. Health information. When researching health-related information, such as the effectiveness of a new drug, cross-check information from medical journals, official health organizations like the World Health Organization, WHO, and reputable news outlets. This ensures that you receive accurate and comprehensive information. Political claims. During elections, political claims are often scrutinized. Cross-check statements made by politicians with reports from fact-checking websites, official records, and independent news organizations to verify their accuracy. Historical events. When studying historical events, consult multiple history books, academic journals, and primary sources like letters and official documents. This helps to build a well-rounded understanding and avoid biased interpretations. 5. Challenges and solutions in cross-checking information. While cross-checking is a powerful tool, it comes with challenges. Information overload. The sheer volume of information available can be overwhelming. To manage this, prioritize reputable sources and focus on the most critical facts. Conflicting information. Sometimes, even reputable sources may present conflicting information. In such cases, look for the consensus among the majority of credible sources and consider the context and possible reasons for the discrepancies. Time-consuming. Cross-checking information can be time-consuming. However, the benefits of ensuring accuracy and avoiding misinformation outweigh the time investment. Conclusion. Cross-checking information with multiple sources is an essential skill for navigating today's complex media landscape. By verifying facts, identifying biases, and gaining comprehensive perspectives, individuals can make informed decisions and protect themselves from misleading information. This critical approach not only enhances personal media literacy, but also contributes to a more informed and discerning public, fostering a healthier information ecosystem.